This conference will now be recorded.
We'll do the pledge here anyway. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting of Lawrence County Commission to order for June 23rd. Any changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, 9:15 is canceled. Other than that, no changes.
Okay.
Approve the agenda as amended.
Second. And moved by Tisdale, second by Comer to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any conflicts today?
I'm here. Nope. No.
Did you all have a chance to look over the minutes, I'm sure?
Motion to approve the minutes from June 9th.
Second.
Been moved by Ewing, second by Comer to approve the county commission minutes from June 9th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Motion to recess as county commissioners and convene as board of adjustment.
Been moved by Ewing, seconded by Tisdale to recess as county commissioners and convene as board of adjustment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, we are the board of adjustment.
Move to approve the minutes of the June 9th meeting of the Board of Adjustment.
Second.
And moved by Tisdale, seconded by Comer to approve the minutes from our board of adjustment minutes from June 9th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? That motion carries.
Motion to adjourn as board of adjustment and reconvene as county commissioners.
Second.
And moved by Ewing, seconded by Tisdale to adjourn as board of adjustment and reconvene as county commissions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, we are back to county commission. All had a chance to look at the bills. Anybody have any questions on those?
I didn't.
All good? Nope. Move to approve the pay the bills.
Second.
And moved by Tisdale, second by Comer to approve the bills as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, bills will get paid. Personnel requests.
I have 7 personnel requests from the sheriff's office. So with James Lee, I'll start with step raises. So James Lee, step raise, going to a correction officer 2, grade 2, base pay of $26.86, full-time permanent employee effective on 7/12. Alexandria Kolaski, step raise, going to a correction officer 2, grade 2, base pay of $26.86, full-time permanent employee on 6/28. And Kyle Parks, step raise, going to a deputy 1, grade 3, base pay $33, full-time permanent employee effective on 7/12. Classification changes, Daniel Howard, going to a correction officer 1, grade 2, base pay of $25.30, full-time permanent employee effective 6/23. Andre Stewart, this is classification change, going to correction officer 1, grade 1, base pay of $24.80, full-time permanent employee, also 6/23. Ashley Joe, going to sheriff's correction officer 2, grade 3, base pay of $27.41. She will now be a part-time fill-in employee effective on 6/19. And they are
D'Artagnan.
Canadian
Not a name you see very often.
is a new hire, dispatch 1, grade 1, base pay at $24.80, also a permanent or a part-time fill-in employee effective on 6/23.
Musketeer.
Yeah, is it? How did you say?
D'Artagnan.
it?
Move to approve. Second.
Been moved by Flanagan, second by Comer to approve all the personnel requests. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay,
Okay.
those are
And,
approved.
I also have an FMLA that has been exhausted, and Paul is requesting to continue the employment of Barb Baker as a reasonable accommodation until August 14th of 2026.
You want to do paperwork on that?
I just need a motion.
So
To
the acronym, could you help us with the acronym?
The family medical leave act.
Okay.
Yep, you only get 12 weeks. And so once that's exhausted, then you can't extend the FMLA, so you have to continue the continuation of employment.
Second.
Been moved by Tisdale, second by Comer to approve the medical leave extension for Barb Baker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Travel requests.
I have one travel request, Chairman, for Mike Luhan, Carmen Simons, and Josh Bridenstine to head to the 2026 Annual Assessor School in Pier from September 13th through September 18th, and to also request meal reimbursements in advance.
Motion to approve.
Moved by Comer, second by Flanagan to approve the travel requests for the equalization staff. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, that is, request is approved. Need to canvass the results from Rimrock Road District.
Yeah, the election was held last Friday on June 19th. And the votes was, altogether was one vote, one voting for and 0 voting against. So it's needed authorization for the chairman to sign the official canvas and the order declaring it incorporated.
Second.
And moved by Flanagan, second by Tisdale to approve the canvassing of the vote and allowing the chairman to sign the order. Approving. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay. All that approved.
Thank you. This is the season for elections.
Cheers.
I did.
More to come.
Secure Rural School Act. Doing that you, Bruce?
It's that time again where we have to, the county's required to make the election under the act. I've got the amounts up on the screen. I think was estimated payment is 255. As you, if you read it, you can see where you're required to make certain elections. Those that you see on the screen and as provided to you represent what you've done historically, I believe, the last several years. And so, for example, that Title III money, that's money that can be used to reimburse search and rescue activities, I think, and things like that. We struggle to spend that money. Title II, I think, can be used for RAC projects, and we've reached out, isn't that right?
Title II stays with the.
That's right. Title III is RAC projects. We reached out to the Forest Service to see if there was any way that they could spend the Title III money. In the past, for example, the RAC committee improved the observation deck at Braddock Falls. So we're trying to spend it, but it's kind of difficult. It's federal money, so there's a lot of restrictions. But we'd be looking for a motion to authorize to continue the allocations as presented.
But Title II then goes to search and rescue?
No, Title II stays with the,
Yeah.
with the state.
Oh,
It
stays
stays
with
with
the
them.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah. The Title I is the national forest money that gets split half and half in between schools and and the road and bridge.
Mhm.
And then the Title II stays with the state, and then the Title III is, Title III money is the money that has to be used within the national forest. So it kind of made it very limited as to, you know.
It is. There's really no discretionary
Yeah.
spending for the county through any of these funds.
Yeah.
But we have to approve
Yes.
making them available. Is that what we approve then? Because we're not approving actual projects,
Just the percentages.
just the
Yeah,
percentages.
yeah.
And so the 255K, that's already with the 25%, or that's a 25% plus that?
So we would be electing to do the SRS, so the 260, 780, 217 is
Okay,
that, and then
that's
they split that by those percentages. And then that's what comes, 85% comes to the county, and then 8% stays
Okay.
there, and then 7% is Title III. I know it's clear as mud, it's, yeah, but it, you know, it is revenue streams that is available for John to use for his roads.
That got his attention. That woke him right up.
I could name certain roads, but I won't. They do a great job.
Motion to approve?
Second. And moved by Ewing, seconded by Flanagan to approve the SRS funds. So we're electing to utilize them. Is that essentially what the motion is going to be?
And the allocations here.
Yep, so been moved to allocate them and elect to use them. So, any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay. Check that box off then.
Thank you.
Give Ben another something to do. And we have the Association of County Commission conventions coming up in September. Bruce needed to know by a certain date if we're going.
Soon, yeah, just as a reminder, so there's a new portal that will allow you to register online, or I'll register on your behalf. They don't have the registration materials up yet, so I don't have any kind of a proposed agenda or anything like that. Some overachievers have already reserved their motel rooms at the Ramcota almost a year ago. And so if anybody's interested, if you want to let me know.
It's in Sioux Falls, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't have to do it today, Brenda. I can get your motel rooms registered or reserved too. So,
In the right town, is it?
so yeah, maybe, just maybe try to let me know as, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Pat is here.
Yeah, Pat is up next. If you'd like to give us a report from the sheriff's office, here you have a full report with the handouts and.
I'm very happy that I have nothing to report, so if you have questions for me, I'll try, but I got nothing. I wish I had something.
Should be something we can roll you around in the
I
mud.
know. No, that's right.
So
All right.
good to hear. Everything must be going good.
Yeah, it's going very good. Very well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yep, thanks for coming. Do we need to wait for a certain time to do the post-election results? Okay, we'll move right on into that.
All righty, it's me again. So we held the post-election audit on June 16th. We started at 9 o'clock and we finished just around 11:30. Everything went, couldn't have asked for better crew that I had. They did just a marvelous job. Very thankful. Of course, the result of the post-election audit were 100% as to what was counted on the tabulator. So that's very, very good. I'll just kind of read the letter to the Honorable Board of Lawrence County Commissioners. On June 16th, 2026, a post-election audit was conducted on the following precincts in Lawrence County from the primary election that was held on June 2nd, 2026. The results of the post-election audit are as follows. St. Ange Precinct, the following races were audited. Statewide race, United States Representative official canvas total, Marty Jackley 74 and James Biata 15. Post-election audit total was Marty Jackley 74 and James Bialata 15. Second race for St. Ange was precinct committee woman. Official canvas total was Valerie Samuelson 45, Mary J. Fitzgerald 38. The post-election audit results were Valerie Samuelson 45 and Mary Fitzgerald 38. Then we went up and audited roll number 2 precinct. The following races were audited as a statewide race was United States Representative. Official canvas total was Marty Jackley 612 and James Bialata 182. Post-election audit total was Marty Jackley 612 and James Bialata 182. The second race was the school board member, Spearfish School District 40-2. The official canvas total was Alicia Lembo 462 and Rayanne Metler 261. The post-election audit total was Alicia Lembo 462 and Rayanne Metler 261, respectively submitted. Brenda Magruder, Lawrence County.
And you did 2 precincts because you needed 100 votes.
That's correct.
Is the minimum.
So I just need a motion for you to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale to approve the post-election audit canvassing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, that is approved.
Thank you all very much for your support.
Thanks for doing a
Thanks
great
for
job.
Mr. Bay, I believe you can go up next.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a few applications for some permits. The first one I have is for an approach permit. This is a private approach. This is for some property off of the Elk Creek Road that was recently replatted. This would take the proposed approach and move it to the east. I went out and visited the site. The site distance to the north is 525 feet and to the south is 800 feet. That is more than adequate for the mile-an-hour posting on that road, which is 35. It does not, the site does not sit and exist in any kind of a floodplain, and it will not require any culvert. Everything drains away from the road. So, with the conditions I've added to this, and that would just be the standard, the approach would be constructed perpendicular to the Elk Creek Road and remain perpendicular to the Elk Creek Road, and then all additional material that would be required by the contractor, the property owner, to bring the approach up to a substantial grade that is acceptable and still maintain a negative grade to the Elk Creek Road, so drainage is to their property. And with that, I would recommend approval of that approach.
Motion to follow Highway Superintendent's recommendation for approval.
Second.
Sorry, Brandon.
And moved by you and seconded by Flanagan to approve the approach following the highway superintendent recommendations. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion's approved.
Thank you.
The next permits I have, these are for utility permits, and they're kind of together. They're two separate permits. They're for the same project, but they're on two different properties. And this is submitted by James Straska with Black Hills Energy. And this will require, and the reason I broke these out into two is because one of them is going to require a bore under the Galena Road. The other one is just an open trench to private property, and then it turns into a bore, which we would have nothing to do with. So the first one, it would take in some underground trenching along the edge of the property line, and then a bore under the Galena Road. That property is 12056 Galena Road. That property owner has property on both sides of the road. They're trying to get power from one side to the other. So they're taking power from an existing power pole, an existing transformer. They're going to take it down the road in front of the property owner's lot and then across the road. The second one, it will go from the same power supply and it goes the opposite direction. And just for a little short distance, it will go along the Galena Road and it goes on a private property. So that the next one, that one there is the one that crosses the road. So that one right there, it just goes a little bit short distance and then it goes onto private property. So neither one of these do I have an issue with. There's already existing power poles there. This is all underground. It's all at the outside edge of the right of way, except for where it bores and crosses the road. Black Hills Power already has a bond with us. So I mean, they did give us the estimated cost of $12,000 per job in the right of way, but we already have a bond with Black Hills Power. I would not require, if you guys don't require an additional. I did put the stipulations that the utility must be at the outermost limits of the right of way. The utility must be minimum depth or deeper as specified in ordinance 0701. Bore pits must be at the outer limits of the right of way. No digging will be allowed in the road or at the road's edge, and any utility boxes and transformers are located outside. They have agreed to those conditions. With that, I would recommend approval of each of these permits.
I recommend, you want to do these separately?
Well, I have them separately, so if you want to do them separately for 262, 326, I would recommend approval.
I recommend approval following the recommendations from Highway Superintendent for utility 2-62326.
Second.
And moved by Comer, seconded by Flanagan to approve the utility permit for 2326, following superintendent's recommendations. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Moving further recommendation on the other one.
Second.
Sounds like a Ewing vote.
Moved by Flanagan, seconded by Comer to approve utility permit number 3, 62-326. Following superintendent's recommendations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Those are both approved.
And the last thing I have is we kind of ran into some issues with our current software. Our current software for our highway system is going to be discontinued at the end of this year. I've left it up to my office personnel. I put all of my faith and trust in them to find a suitable replacement. They've been working very hard on this for the last year, really, but the last 6 months, they've really put a lot of effort into it. The issue is that our current software has changed. It went from HubWorks to GWorks. They sold. The company is now going to be a web-based system, which all of them are now, but it does not really meet our requirements. It's more designed for cities and municipalities, and it's just not going to work. We did do some demos with it. Some other counties in the state have tried to demo it as well. Doesn't seem to be the right fit. There is a new system. In fact, some of the employees from the current HubWorks went over and they started a company called Novo. There's already several counties that have switched to that system. And that is our recommendation, is to go to Novo. It's also a cloud-based, a web-based system, but it's more tailored fit to counties in South Dakota state codified law. So there is an upfront cost though, and it's going to be this year, and it's a cost that we didn't anticipate or budget for, but it's going to cost us $17,940 to sign on with this company. So we do have a contract here for them, and I guess I would like to have your guys' approval of switching to this system. I guess I don't know. I guess it maybe be a question for Bruce if this is a contract that you guys need to sign, or if I can just sign it. I don't know. I was unclear or unaware, so that's kind of why I brought it here.
You could authorize the highway superintendent to sign if you want to, I think.
Yeah.
I can
Well,
review it.
I would certainly ask for that authorization then. If you guys need time to review that, that's fine. I think, did you provide them with that contract or?
No.
Okay.
No, that's it. Commissioner Flanagan?
Has the old system then been phased out, so that the new one, what are you doing currently?
We're currently still working with the system. We did get a letter from them or an email from them that when it's done at the end of this year. We either have to renegotiate and sign up with them again, or they turn it off, I guess. Greg is here. Greg, some of the stuff is on our system, on our hard drive, but we would have no support. We would not be able to add or go further forward. We'd be able to retrieve our old information and things like that. But we won't be able to use their system for any kind of new input.
So you need the upfront cost for next year. We can't.
We're gonna need the upfront cost for this year. It's gonna have to be paid for when we sign the contract.
Right, but our current contract goes to the end of this year.
Correct.
But
So
There'd be a gap.
so is there a plan to deploy software to get our existing information transferred into?
That's part of this cost.
Cost is to transfer the data into the new
Correct.
system and get it up and operational, work out all
Part
the
of their
bugs.
cost is taking our current information and putting it into their system. And then, that's part of that 17,000, the one-time setup cost is 11,450, and after that, it costs 6,490, which is a little more than we're paying now. Right now, we're paying like around $4,600 a year for the system we have. So, but if that price is going up too, everything's price is going up. This is the closest one we came to the existing price we have now. So It's a 3-year contract with a 3% increase annually. After that is what they proposed. I do think Greg has reviewed this contract and he had a few issues of some things that he thought would have to be maybe addressed in the future, I guess. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Greg did review it, and I think he actually talked to the vendor, and he had some recommendations, but he had no security concerns, so I don't think there's any vulnerabilities to the web-based system, if I'm saying that correctly.
I think so.
I think his concerns were more related to, I don't know how I would say it, like the robustness of their system, maybe, is that fair? If they were to go down, sort of those kinds of things, but in terms of any kind of security issues, I did not sense any problem there. I reviewed the contract as well. It's one of these fairly off-the-shelf software contracts. Didn't see anything.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's out of my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about this. So I put all my faith in my office people that I have all the trust in the world for them to, they've researched this and they've done a lot of work on this. So I put everything on them.
They're comfortable with it?
Absolutely, yes.
And it's compatible with their current, with their other accounting systems? Is it easy, or do you just send a report to,
We send a report.
send a report?
It's just not compatible with the office systems down here.
Commissioner Blanket?
Where is the money anticipated to be coming from?
In the future, as we will look at in my budget proposal, I increased our office budget to accommodate this. For now, we'll just have to take it out of our road and bridge fund.
So you have room inside your current budget to pull.
Yep, I think we will be fine. It's early enough in the year. I mean, if there's a shortfall going towards the end of the year, we'll just have to cut back on something else.
Or come in
So
with it's something that has to be done.
I don't like to.
One way or the other, the current system, the system isn't going to work. We
That's
need to do
right.
something. I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure and allow either the chairman or the highway superintendent to sign whichever is appropriate with the contract language.
Second.
And moved by Flanagan, seconded by Ewing to approve the expenditure for a new accounting system for the highway department and authorize either the chairman or highway superintendent to sign. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay. Is approved.
Thank you.
Good job.
If there's anything else that you have for me, I'd certainly listen to that now. If not, I have nothing more for you guys.
Thanks, Jen.
Yep, thank you, John.
Have a great rest of your day.
We might as well jump on ahead since Amber's not down here. Mitch, are you ready to roll here? Sure. So appreciate you coming up, Mitch.
Yes.
Join
So,
us in person.
yeah, I'll just give you a quick summary. This letter that we're proposing to be sent out by the county is related to the timber harvest situation. And there's been some issues with the forest supervisor kind of distorting or misinterpreting the county's position on timber harvest in a field trip that he was not present on. And this letter is just to clarify the county's position. I think it's necessary because there's been some other things that have gone on recently as well, very similar. And so it would be good to get on record. Also, it's creating the forest supervisor's position or misinterpretation of the county's position is creating some concern by other counties and wondering what's going on with Lawrence County. Basically, what I'm hearing is Lawrence County wants to cut trees in other areas, but not in their own county. So that's really unfortunate. And the only thing I would say with this letter is we could think about maybe not having the district ranger on the CC list because I don't think he was part of the problem here. But I'll leave that up to Eric and you guys. It's coming from the forest supervisor. The other CC on the letter is the forest supervisors, supervisors. So with that being said, that's kind of the gist of it.
So the other CC, Andrew Johnson, is listed as forest supervisor. Is that his actual title at the bottom?
He's acting regional forester. He's also a forest supervisor on the Bighorns. So
Okay.
I think it should be changed to acting regional forester. But not a big deal.
Is that because Troy is on another assignment? Troy Hightucker, is he still there?
He's still there. He's
Okay.
still part of that whole, group. I hope, is that,
So is he I'm trying to understand here. So he's a regional forester,
yes,
and then
that's
Andrew
correct.
Johnson is an acting
Deputy regional forester.
deputy regional forester.
He's underneath Troy.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's how that's set up.
Okay.
If it's a big problem, you could leave Andrew Johnson as a forest supervisor, because that is correct. He's forest supervisor on the Bighorns, so.
I could change it and take Patrick off if you want me to.
I just leave them all on, figure out the appropriate title. I'll make a motion to approve and send this letter to not the way it is with some edits to who they are and what their title is.
I'll second that.
And moved by Flanagan, second by Comer to authorize the chairman to sign the letter and send it to the appropriate people. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
You just got done changing it, didn't you?
Mr. Chairman?
Mhm.
And so I'm a little, CC, so, are we gonna take off Patrick Champa, the district ranger then?
That's my recommendation, yes.
I would say just leave it on. I don't know why we don't just let everybody in the food chain know.
And that
There's
was
a
the
perceived problem.
I don't think it hurts to have.
Okay,
I don't either.
And then Andrew Johnson, can I leave his title as forest supervisor? Or
Yes.
You can't, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
after
still
that, okay.
We're good.
And Patrick was at the last Natural Resources Committee meeting as
Yes.
well. And so he's sort of aware of all of this as well. So my sense is, and I will defer to Chairman and Mitch, is he's not gonna be caught off guard by this.
no, not at all. We've talked to him about it, and he feels that things got misinterpreted as well. And so the problem there is that the forest supervisor, not with the local district ranger, that's been going really good. And so,
That's good. It is good.
so
It's the most important one.
I think this will help nip this type of thing in the bud for future things.
Thank you.
And I think Patrick has a good sense of a good working relationship with the county. That's what I get. Is that fair?
Yes,
It's probably never, it's about as good as it's been
Yeah.
for a very long time.
He's trying very hard.
yes. And this letter will be no surprise at all to us. So.
We've discussed this situation with him before. So.
And we did submit your other comments at the last meeting too. I don't know if you've had any follow-up with him since then, Mitch?
Patrick emailed me and said, thank you, they really helped in just positive.
Benchmark comments, I believe it was.
Benchmark project, that 40,000 acre project in the benchmark area. So,
And the county has also made some images available through the IS to some of the
yeah,
natural
we've
resource.
gotten the LiDAR information, and we've got some really good imagery from the county. And that's really helping use the two to look at forest conditions in a way that we've never been able to look at them before. Tree height, crown, species,
Wow.
all of that. It's pretty incredible. So thank you for setting that access up to those photos.
And Mr. Chairman, I referenced earlier, we're trying to see if we can find a way to spend that Title III money for things, I don't know about like LiDAR or hiring any experts that they need to expedite any of their environmental assessments, that kind of thing. And so hopefully we'll hear some good news on how we can spend that money in terms of your efforts.
And I saw your email about that, so that's great.
Haven't heard anything back yet. Hopefully we can spend it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
thank you, Mitch.
All right, why don't we take a little break here, and there's probably not much setting up for Amber to do, but we'll take a couple 5-minute break here anyway.
Before you
All right, we'll call our meeting back to order. Up with, planning and zoning.
Okay, we only have one item today, so this is just a memorandum of agreement amendment or a new one, because we do a new one every time they make a change. They've requested to have some money taken off of their letter of credit, so the new engineer's estimate is completed. As he has been doing, he's showing the completion so we can see what's coming off of each of these. Here's your new bond amount at 682,165.30. The bank did do an amendment to the standby letter of credit, and we did get that new information. So this is just pretty standard as they start to release money. We require them to provide a new documentation. So we sign a new one and then it just goes on the record. This engineer is kind of got it figured out now. He's showing the difference in payment, and then he also provides these pictures kind of showing what they did. We're including those and we just keep track of them as we go through the process. So that's it. Pretty easy.
So looking for a motion to approve the amended letter or memorandum of agreement.
Correct.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale to approve the amended memorandum of agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. This is the project that they wanted to trench through the road instead of boring under it, isn't it?
Correct.
Have they done that?
That would be a question for,
You know, I just-
yeah, because it goes through John. I don't think they did anything, but I don't know, I guess.
I can find
no,
Yeah.
it's not, I just,
I haven't seen a permit come through for it. It's part of
yeah,
the project, but does he do a separate
they
permit?
had a permit already.
I thought they
They
had.
had a
one.
boring
They
permit.
the whole thing?
Denied it. Because you denied the boring permit, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
No, we approved the boring permit, denied the trench.
okay.
Yeah, just seeing these pictures from the boring, I just got to thinking about it.
Do you have anything else, Bruce? Move on to this one then?
It's done. Just waiting for, yeah. We're way ahead, so.
That's all you
Sorry,
got?
I got nothing else for you. I can't fill your time.
Pass out budget books.
Please.
Yeah, how are you?
Do that.
Good, how are you? I'm gonna need the recording here while we do that.
You go in with an agenda, your agenda just goes away, 'cause on all this stuff, you learn.
And,
There's
and real quick,
rules.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's, the statutes are there for a reason and we have to follow them. That is, what you find out, as you go along.
I didn't realize I'd get sucked into 20-some years of this stuff.
So do you think there'd be an appetite for annual spring workshops instead of every other year?
I would go.
Since they have them already,
Yeah.
they're already doing it, you just add the commissioners like you do.
County,
to the-
yeah, county officials, they're already doing an annual. Yeah, and that, they used to do annuals for county commission and that changed before I came on, shortly before I came on, I think.
They just do the new, like every other year.
Yeah, it's like following an election is what they do. Okay, we'll bring that up.
Thanks for doing that.
Anything else from the commissioners? Okay, well. Can we do items from the public?
You can. I don't see anybody online.
Yeah, is there anybody online that would like to give us any comments? Or anybody from the gallery too? I didn't mean to overlook you guys.
No real agenda, but just appreciate being here and learning and your advice about going forward.
All right, we'll close the public comment period also then. Should we just kind of go into some budget workshop things?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah. I had him, he's coming in early, but you're even further ahead than I thought, so.
Yeah. What's the three things pretty quick?
But you're gonna be here. I'll try to keep the budget stuff up on the screen.
So do you want to give us just an overlay here,
Sure.
Brenda?
So, as I process through the budget this year, plugging in the numbers, one of the sheets at the beginning is your increase, decrease. It shows the 2026 budget compared to what was submitted by the department heads for 2027. Also includes my estimated transfers to Road and Bridge, 911 and EM. With that and the estimated revenues that I've calculated, right now I'm showing we're a negative 156,705 as far as we'd have to dip into the surplus cash. So, and so that is kind of where we're setting. I have kept going back over it because I was like, it's good number. I mean, of course you want it to balance, and I think as we go through, possibly we can make up a little bit of that. I've already made up some of it. I've got the actual figure from Butte County for our half of 4-H. That was less than, I calculated 3% when I put it in. It came in a little bit less than that. So I've already made up some of that 156. So I don't know if you want to start going through the allocations first, or if you want to do department by department, and we can do the allocations within each of those allocations within each of those budgets. So, but anyways, I think we have to, go ahead.
Quick question, where were we last year? Weren't we over a
1
million
million,
bucks?
yeah.
156 is not a big deal.
No,
No,
It's very good.
But this is with the maximum increase that we can do in the budget.
yes,
This is with the 3%.
3%, and then the 2.5% for the CPI, and then the growth, and then we did have a little bit of with the TIF dissolve and the discretionary growth. We can also use that for you can go above the 3. So the county is I'm not gonna have that in front of me. I'll have to pull it up, but I can bring that up after
Yeah.
we speak with
Yep.
Mr. Phillips.
And what did you do on health insurance? Because that was a pretty big.
I did 10%.
Did 10%, but we have not gotten that number yet, but we'll get it in July now.
Yeah.
Is that when we get
It's
it?
supposed to be a little earlier. It's like usually either end of July, so I have to publish, so we'll meet on the 30th, and then if we have it by then, that would be great, because then we
You're not gonna
could,
number
yeah, and then, go from there, but as of right now, I did do 10%.
it. And it was 7 last year, wasn't it? Is that what our number was last year?
That high?
7.85 is ringing a bell with me, but we left it at 10. We did not go in and change it. We
Didn't go back
left
and
it,
change
yeah, we just left it at
Yeah,
10
it's a-
because it was pretty close.
Taking a pretty big bite in the budget there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So,
Yeah.
but things are actually looking pretty good, as far as, when they were here the last time. The numbers are looking good as far as insurance. So just, yeah, that's just the day by day thing as far as what happens within your group coverage. So
Before we do that, did we leave the mining guys? Yes, sir. Okay, so we could go ahead and, if you're ready.
So, well, I'm Gordon Phillips.
Gordon Phillips, yeah.
I'm the CEO of the Black Hills Mining Museum. And we've got a request, as you see in the letter, for about $8,500 to pay Interstate Engineering for an engineering plan to help us with what's going on with our parking structure. If you read the Pioneer, a few weeks back, the front page headlines, the parking structure, which is adjacent to our building, has been in deterioration for many years. And they've tried different things, kind of kick the can down the road. We are still hopeful for a new facility, but the condition of the parking lot justifies taking some immediate action. The biggest problem is that a portion of the building sits on the parking lot. And so that area needs to be stabilized ahead of any removal project. And this is Garrett Janglor from Interstate Engineering. And so they're the ones that will be doing the plan for us. After we get the plan, then we'll put it out to contractors to see what that part of the cost will be to get that done, and then we'll chase those dollars and move forward. So,
I'm trying to remember, that's all on the same side of the street, so, isn't it?
yeah, it's right between, we own basically between the post office and the city library and our building is on the city library side, and then there's a parking structure, a 2-level parking structure. That original lot was the Hearst Mercantile, built in 1922. It burnt in 42-ish and then remained vacant for a while. And then it was rebuilt as a grocery store on the foundations of the 22 building, which is a big part of what the problem is. There's a lot of deterioration in that construction methods with the concrete that are not what they would be today. And so it's been looked at, according to our files with the museum, it's been looked at 4 different times, and everybody kind of comes to the same conclusion. You really need to work hard to get it down. And because of lack of identifying where all the money was going to come from to do the whole project, nobody ever really started on the beginning. And so we want to take care of that. If we're not able to do so, our only main entrance is off of the parking lot. Our emergency exit off the main floor is onto that parking structure. We have 2 emergency exits on the tour level. They both go under that structure. And then we have 1 emergency exit and a sub basement that goes out the back, which is not affected. So that structure has a big impact on our ability to get people in and out safely, and we want to continue to do that.
Sure. And so this is for design specs to see what to do about the old foundation and what would need to be done from there.
Yeah. So the scope of this work is to, do a design for shoring up the portion of the parking structure that has to remain in place to support the entrance to the building.
Bruce,
I was going to say, Mr. Chairman, it's initially presented to you as a request for mine severance tax funds. I included a copy of the statute in your packets. It's 103954.3. Other options could include funding request that you would discuss maybe today for 2027. And as it also reminds me of $50,000 in your contingency fund currently. That money could be spent from there.
How much is in contingent?
50,000.
that's what's left with, is we spent some.
not this year we have it.
Yes, if I did it, Sherry.
No, we did a month ago. Okay.
Nope. Things all there. So those are the options. And if I may, it's not, although ironically, this is the mine severance tax fund and this is a request from a mining museum. It's not immediately clear to me where it fits in the schedule I have on the screen. So I would suggest if you're gonna consider the request to come out of, I think maybe contingency fund would be the easiest course. Is that fair, Brenda? All things considered, for the immediate funding.
I tend to agree. I didn't really feel that it fit in any of those four areas for the mining severance tax fund.
Mr. Chairman, it is possible to, for principal, so we're talking about spending interest, that's what the generally govern. You could take it out of principal, we'd have to contact the governor's office of economic development. They would probably approve it, but we would have to take that step and then it would come out of principal.
I don't want to touch principal.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you have a time frame that you're wanting to do the work on this?
Immediately.
Well, if we're to consider it, I would contingency, that would be what I would support.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Brenda, would we have to come back again on at the next meeting to get authorization to spend it then?
Unless you do the motion today, you know, if that's how you feel about the open meeting, you know. Was not on the agenda, but you could make the motion to do the contingency transfer, but that would be up to you whether or not you felt it was something that needs to be on the agenda.
Because typically that has a public hearing.
Not what the contingency.
It's not
No, no, but there would be, usually we put notice of it on the
Yeah.
agenda and the amount. But we just discussed that today, so it wasn't something we had thought of prior to today. So, but, so if you approve the contingency transfer, we would then follow up at your next meeting on July 14th. And I don't know how that fits into the timelines we have here, but there might be a delay until July 14th.
But we can't move forward until we find funds. So, I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
But then you have the assurance then that the money, it would just be a matter of process, generally speaking. I guess I can't speak for what would happen on 14th. No one's ever coming in.
So you're looking for half the funds. You're looking for another 3,750. Is that, am I reading that correctly?
No, we need $8,500 to pay for the totals.
So that's what's left of the balance.
No, that is the balance, and that will be the complete balance for the construction documents for that project.
They paid $37.50 for the new inspection.
Okay.
Now,
So this is the
plan,
design.
it's $8,500.
Right.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm good with the contingency, but I would also say we need to take the proper channels.
Right.
So we were probably looking for a motion to continue this to the next meeting, or
I think you could authorize the contingency for the Brenda.
If you want it on the agenda, you would need to wait till you could just put it on the agenda to do the contingency transfer. At the
so we
next
would need to
meeting,
continue it
so,
from
yeah.
this. We just.
You,
need to put it on the
don't, I wouldn't even think you would need to continue it.
It's a new item on the
It's a new
agenda for
item.
next meeting.
Okay.
And you could just say that, I can just put in the minutes that the board has discussed making a contingency transfer and it'll be on the next agenda,
July 14th.
July 14th.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock. So,
But there's
yeah.
only been two of us that said we would probably support this. We should
Fair enough.
maybe give them some more feeling. and some
So,
others.
yeah, we,
We need more information.
I'm generally in support. I mean, that used to be Piggly Wiggly when I was a little kid, and it was there before I was a little kid. I mean, that was a place where grade schools went and fought after school. Was in the bottom level of that park.
For a reason.
There was a
Another
reason
phase.
for that
Then
part.
when the Piggly Wiggly closed down, we moved down the street, then it
And where
closed
did
there
you
and moved
fight?
up the street.
Where did you play?
Okay, it's on the next agenda.
all right, so we can't take any action today,
Okay.
but we'll put this on for July 14th and take it up then.
All right.
Yep,
Thank you very much.
Chairman, Garrett, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So will the bill come from you?
Yeah,
So at the next meeting, if we make the contingency transfer and also have the bill at that time, then we could do the voucher and transfer so we can get that paid.
Okay, is that, yeah, so Typically, we invoice after the fact,
Okay,
but
so
if it's easier. we
No,
can-
that's,
okay.
that's fine. I just, if that's how you process it, that's fine. I was just trying to help
Okay, yeah.
speed up the
Yeah.
process for you, but that's fine. We'll just send the bill to the county for the 8,500 for the project.
Yes, I mean, yeah, we could do it that way, or we could send it to.
To them and they can bring it to
forward
us. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you
However,
very
or we
much.
could send the money to the mining and they can pay you, however. So we'll figure that out.
Okay,
All right,
well,
thank you.
Thank you.
Looked
Yep.
like an attorney when I left.
Sorry.
I guess they gotta decide how they,
Yeah.
by department by department.
Okay, so back to, it was 7.35.
Okay, that was the insurance.
That was the insurance increase and the CPI is 2.5 and the growth for the county is 3.44. We had 44.44% growth on the dissolved TIFs and discretionary that we were able to add. So that is what I'm using for the max tax request as of right now.
Okay.
Because we have not, obviously gotten utilities yet, so we will not be final until that, which comes in September.
That could be more revenue.
Yeah, it could be.
And that
Or it
growth
could be
number
less.
is below the limits that the
Yes.
state, was that 5% growth?
3%, but you can go above that if you have TIF
The TIF
dissolved
dissolved.
or discretionary growth, and that is what I calculated. Brett
Mm-hmm.
gave me the figures and I calculated. So,
So that's what you were talking about, that new learning that you have to do.
Every year.
yeah. So anyway, so that's where we're sitting as far as that. Do you want to just go by department and then we can look at the allocations? They're all out, all of the allocations are, beside them are the department number. So if you start with the commissioners at department 111, those first, there's 9 allocations in the commissioner's budget that you could look at and decide what you want to do with them.
So we'll just start like 111 then?
Yeah.
Which is commissioners.
Yeah, why don't we do it that way?
Fine with me.
It's up on the screen.
So commissioner's budget went up $46,010, 11.53% increase. And the allocations, obviously you can see those. Dump week, we left the same at 10. Good Shepherd requested the same. Fast vendors last year, you chose not to allocate to that, so that is 0. Boys and Girls Club has requested 10,000, which is up 2,500 from last year. The Opera House, Homestake Opera House has requested 7,500, which is an additional 7,250. The Matthew Opera House requested 5,000, which is up 4,750 from last year. And then the the Spearfish Economic Development requested 2,000, which was up 1,000 from last year. And then Deadwood Lead Economic requested 1,000, which is up 500 from last year. And then the Black Hills Council of Local Government, their annual fee went up $545. Those are the ones that are affected within the commissioner's budget. So we can decide to leave those as requested, or you can make changes, whichever you prefer.
So let's just knock those out one at a time here. So dump week is staying the same at 10,000. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
So typically it takes 3 commissioners to approve these allocations. So if I get 3 nods, we'll call that good. So we get,
Of course, if I may.
Yeah.
So you don't officially approve the budget at the first meeting in September, so you're kind of giving provisional authority so that Brendan can move forward and making the adjustments and represent things. Does that make sense? So it's not, just so everybody knows, it's not a final decision today.
so we're kind of taking a straw poll here is essentially what we're doing.
Better word, yeah.
Good Shepherd Clinic.
Leave it.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Fassbender, do you want to continue to not fund that one?
Leave it.
Leave it.
Yep.
Boys and Girls Club. And this is in Lead, isn't it? Is this the one in
Yes.
Lead? Yes. At the Handley Center.
It actually is
Across the way.
actually at where the old funeral home used to be, over by the high school. When you come up,
Oh, really?
make South Main Street and come onto the highway, it's there. Last I knew, because it was, was a coffee shop or something for a while too.
30% increase.
So an extra 2,500.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get their letter. There it is.
Leave it same as last year.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Homestake Opera House, we're looking for a $7,250 increase. We've been giving them $250. Anybody have an appetite for increasing them?
You on that board, Brandon?
No, the commissioners ended up getting off of that one, I believe. I think for a while they thought we needed to have one, and then I think they realized that they didn't need to have one. I can't remember. Diver was the last one to be on that one.
So leave it.
What are they still remodeling it or?
Yep.
Yeah, just as they have fun.
I think we leave that. If we leave that, we need to leave the Matthews.
It's the same as last
So
year.
250 for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spearfish Economic Development Corporation membership,
You're on that board, right?
I am.
Consider leaving.
That's, I'm good with leaving it myself.
Okay.
1,000?
Edwood Lead Economic Development, we've been at 500.
Same, leave.
So I would advocate for increasing that actually.
Why?
They actually do need some money. They do quite a little in, for economic development from the Lead Deadwood area. They're very active in bringing in businesses and stimulating businesses, I would say. But they don't have the membership base in this area that the other economic development corporation does.
Can we, would this help send a message to like SABC? If we increase this one, it didn't increase them
Sure might.
because of their activity?
Yeah. Deadwood Lead doesn't really have any other income source. They just have their membership. Spearfish does have some other income sources.
So you'd like to raise it?
I would like to put it at 1,000. They have them both of them the same, both Spearfish and Deadwood Lead the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
I'm
live
good
with
with
that.
Black Hills Council of Local Governments, their budgeting felt they required an increase for membership fees. So we're good with that?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes care of those for the commissioners. Then we'll pick those other ones up when we get to that department, I think.
So then the next one is the commissioner's contingency. I'm budgeting 50,000 for that again for 2027.
I'm good with that.
And then elections, since it's an odd numbered year, we typically don't have an election, so I decreased it down to 30,000. I try to always purchase, supplies to carry through for, an even numbered years. So we'll drop that down to 30,000. And then courts, so you do have a couple allocations with the courts.
I'm gonna get out and make any decisions on the court.
Okay, sounds good. The courts, we have CASA, they're requesting 15,000, which is the same as they requested last year, and also teen court, requesting 17.5, which is the same as last year as well. Their letter states that they have left everything the same, as the prior year. So
I think we need to support those.
That's
At the same levels of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice that they didn't even ask for an increase.
Right.
Right, and then the next one doesn't come in until Department 422, so we have a little while before we have another allocation, so.
Okay.
That leads us into the auditor's office. I requested an increase just basically for cost of living, step raises, dues and copier leases, they always go up a little bit, and the dues always go up a little bit, so I'm asking for that, just that 3% cost of living, and then the step raises for my staff as well, so.
I'm good with that.
And you're on target with all the 2026 budget for supplies and all that, so.
Right now, so I'm gonna pull this out so I don't have to jump back and forth here. Bear with me for 1 second.
So just a question on elections. We're having an extra election with the governor runoff. Is that going to put us in a deficit for?
Yes.
For that budget?
Yes, so, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, obviously, I, only budget for 2 elections, so we're going to have 3, but, I did submit, to the state for, Help America Vote Act funds. So that covers our maintenance agreement, other supplies, et cetera. So when that comes, I would probably ask to have that automatically supplemented into that budget, which is about, I want to say it was 20,000, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. But so if I put that back in there, that should be, it was not income that I had budgeted for in 26.
Right.
So it should just offset it. And so I'm hoping that
Should cover the cost of election day and everything.
of the runoff. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good question. So, okay, so treasurer's office. Deb kind of put a little scenario. If you go to page 12, she put a little scenario as to what she is requesting for her increase in her budget. And every department head puts comments in there as to why they're asking for their increases. Deb's
Who was
is
page 12 at it?
actually, sorry, Department 141. Sorry,
I
yeah,
have it on the screen too.
141.
I just
So
didn't see it.
my apologies.
Last page
Yeah.
in her section 13.
Yes, Deb is asking for a 5.9% increase in hers.
She's pretty frugal.
Yeah, she is, and you can see where she puts the cameras on.
I put it in the rack out there. Okay, any other questions for Deb?
No.
Okay, so the next one is 145, insurance and bonds. This covers all of our property insurance, workman's comp, indigent medical, any type of insurance that we would have happen throughout the county. This is a 6.88% increase for that. Of course, like everybody knows, your insurance goes up every year. Yep, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully, yeah. So. Then the next one is postage. I don't know if you recall. I think we're into the 4th year, or the 5th year of the 10-year continued increase every twice a year for postage. So I just increased that by 20,000 to try to stay ahead of that increase. So of course, July 1st, we have another increase coming into effect. So that was a 10-year project through the Postal Service.
Why was 2025 spent so much less?
Non-election year too.
That makes a difference. I was
Yeah,
wondering
it
if
does,
that's-
because you're not sending out the absentee ballot
Because you're having to
requests.
mail out the ballots.
So it does make a difference, and it depends on what kind of election. This was, if that was a presidential, you just don't know what it will, how many requests you'll have. So, you know, we all have the same, we have to send out the tax notices, the assessment notices. And then, you know, we have all of our election notices and, you know, all of that. So it just depends on the count.
Yeah,
So,
most of that's pretty
Yeah.
predictable.
so. Anyway, so, okay, we'll head into the state's attorney, Department 151. It's a negative 2.86% increase for them. Shelley just submitted the budget stating that there was step raises for 2 of the employees going forward. They are still short, a deputy state attorney as well, so. That has been a struggle for quite some time for Brenda. Okay, Public Defender's Office, Department 152. She also put notes in the comments about the 3% increase and then anticipated step raise for one of her employees. And that she met with her advisory board on June 3rd. And this is what they are proposing. And so they're at a 1.5% increase. Court appointed attorney, 153. This also is one of those departments where some years it is good and then some years it's not so good. It just depends on what's happening in the court system. So
Just about impossible to predict.
exactly. And so the circuit court is just requesting that it stays the same and we move forward, hoping that will be sufficient funds going forward. Okay. 161 is general government buildings. Tim submitted his budget. I don't know if he put any comments. He did not, so I don't know if you want to talk with him, but he's requesting 13.15% increase. I know that he has, as he moves forward with the new public safety utilities and things like that, you know, just trying to get fit into his budget. So
Yeah, I'm sure that's been a challenge.
yeah,
Looks like he's looking for a new truck.
and then yes, he is. Thank you, Brandon. He's put that in there too for a new 3/4 ton 4x4 at 50,000 as well. So
Do we want to hear from Tim?
he's had that truck for a long time. Yeah.
I'm all right with the budget for that.
So, okay, good. Okay. Equalization, Department 162. Brett is at a negative 1.74%. She put her comments in there as well. Of course, everybody's puts in there their step raises and the cost of living because that's built into the budget, and talked about some software and that. So, and of course, they all have training that they're required to take care of.
It's nice to get all their software upgrades paid for now. So that was pretty good. I remember right.
Alrighty, so Register of Deeds, 163. Debated at a 3.37% increase.
He's always pretty frugal.
And she is. So, just the biggest lease agreements with Tyler, annual fees, and then they added that Triman land notification software that this went active here just not too long ago. So, and then the M&P funds, which is a special revenue fund. It's self-funding. It comes from their
It's not taxed for.
right. Yeah, it's not tax money that they get from their their
It's from the documents.
doc fees. Yeah, like helping somebody. Can't think of the word. Thank you.
Yep.
So, okay. Into veteran service, 165. The major increase there would be switching from the health insurance. Different, yep, different.
That's just from a single to a family plan, is that?
Yep, so, yep. So, yeah, so, yeah. And then predatory animal, that stayed the same. No increase to that. And then Greg's budget, 171, he is always very detailed on everything that he is reporting to you. So I don't know if you have any other questions for him.
His group insurance drops by 16,000.
Yes, yeah, there's somebody dropped from a family to,
Single individual,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, it's a major change if you go from, a single, or if you have, other coverage or whatever, so,
Supply.
yeah. So I don't know if you good with Greg's explanation, or if you needed to visit with him or not, so, okay.
Because there's nothing due.
No, he's like I said, very, very thorough on his
Yeah.
explanation, so.
There's no new software
No.
things or.
Yeah, so he took that hit last year.
Yeah. All righty, we'll head into dispatch. This is the sheriff's office, starting with that. Dispatches went up 5.1%. His explanation, he just, this year's budget request is the third lowest in 19 years, so it's not much of an increase.
I was expecting an increase on this from what the report he gave
Okay,
us.
so
last time.
this here's dispatch, the one that you're gonna see the increases in the 911.
He does, yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't have
Yeah.
employees in it.
So this here is
Equipment.
just things that do not qualify to be purchased under the 911. So you have to have, because there are things that you cannot use and utilize those funds for, because it's a special revenue fund. 911.
Okay.
So,
Stand
yeah,
by.
that's a good
Just to
question.
confuse us.
Yes, and those questions you'll probably have to talk to Brian, because it's mind boggling when you get to the PSAP and the converting and stuff like that. But I think it's falling together relatively well. So on the sheriff's office, just a 3.41% increase. So shares his explanation on that. And of course, he's always happy to come and visit with you if you have any concerns.
Last year, he wanted to add a detective
So
that we didn't last time.
he has, we did discuss that in Sheriff and I. We do have one in here, but it's the last quarter of the year. So we did do a new hire at 520 hours a year, but looking more towards the latter part of 27, like maybe September, October, I'm hiring that new detective and going forward. So that is incorporated in this budget, so.
So you won't have the cost the entire year, it'll be a
Yes.
fraction of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
To 520 hours.
Yeah, that's that new hire down there
Okay.
below where you see it. So I did add that in there for him. He also, like I said, will have that in his presentation when he talks to you as well as to, the dire need for that. So I'm heading into the jail. That's at an 8.78% increase, $246,000, which not too bad. He also has a new hire in there as well for 27. So like I said, again, I know Brian anticipates visiting with you on the 30th and explaining everything. I mean, I can try to, but I would hate to not speak on his behalf. Yes, he's very detailed, and so I won't overstep my bounds on that one. The coroner did talk with Pat on his budget. He is asking to increase his coroner budget from 250 to 260. He is increasing his coroner travel 3,900. That's for oil changes, etc. Now that he has the vehicle, is going to have.
Does he have it now?
He does have his vehicle now. He did get it. So this is just incorporating his gas and
Right.
that
Part of
into,
that travels to Denver, right?
if he would have to do that, take the
Autopsy.
to autopsy. Yeah. No, you're fine. And then, of course, radios and lights, it's gonna need that, and then he is also requesting a $2,500 increase in his salary, and you can see that on the page before where I have, he is requesting that in his salary, so. Okay. The 24/7 is also a special revenue fund. It's self-funding. It comes through all of the diversion programs that ran through the sheriff's office, the PBT, SCRAM, remote breath, all of that. That money comes into this fund, and so it's basically revenues in and revenues out. It's not taxed by the taxpayers. JDC, there again, that's one of those, you just guess, because you don't know what type of, sorry, this is 215. You don't know what is gonna happen in a year-to-year basis. So we budgeted for 100,000 again this year and pray that that will be sufficient.
It's interesting to look at 2025, Mr. Chairman, and see how much you spent there. I mean, it
That was
fluctuates.
that was a bad year. I think we supplemented twice in 25.
Well, they started out this year with some pretty good
Yeah, and
expenses.
it's kind of, it's kind of leveled off right now, so pray that that stays that way. This here is the drug forfeiture expenses. Brian has not budgeted anything in that. That also is a self-funded, special revenue fund as well, so. Heading into fire advisory,
221?
221, so, here that is I did not increase that. It stayed at $75,100. Basically just splitting, a little bit of a change on the fire departments, because that goes by population and or not population, it goes by their assessed value. So and that may change a little bit within there once the utilities come. It just depends on which department it affects. So as of right now, that should stay solid. And that, if you look at the last page of that, it shows where I've broken that out by evaluation. So
That's state statute too, isn't it?
yes. So there's that. Emergency management, 222.
The raise in there is just because of that generator that needs replaced, isn't it?
It's 11,500 for that, yeah,
Yep.
so. And of course, this one here is the one where we are reimbursed back from the state. We did get, some of the revenues from that,
Still not caught up.
but we still have this year's to get, so we did finally get the years before, so,
Plus they reduced it for this year.
yes, they did.
They reduced it and they're still not getting paid.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten it yet
Federal
this
money.
year, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so this year's 911, it went up 44.53%, and this here is the implementation of, if you look on the salaries page where all of the new hires, there's 2 new hires just for us, and then there's 2 new hires bringing in the Spearfish piece out. So that Brian and I have worked on that, got that in there. I'm gonna just not comment on that because he wants to explain how he wants to bring those employees from Spearfish up to our facility. So I'll just leave that to him. And I know there's some other grant opportunities that he's working on as well. So hopefully that will just basically, balance it out. So there are things in the works. And Amy is working diligently on trying to get that taken care of. Title III this year, as we talked about this earlier with the secure rural schools that we just passed. I did not budget for anything in here because as of right now, I have nothing to spend it on until we can come up with something. So there is funds in this. This is also a special revenue fund as well, so it's not taxpayer dollars. Road and bridge, 9.82% increase, and this basically that has John, of course, explains in his very detailed explanation on the comments too. This also, he's got purchasing some some vehicle or trucks and some snow equipment. And then also we've got that huge, bridge project that, we're gonna have to pay for in 27, which is, I'm gonna say 1.8 million for that bridge, and he puts it in there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right there,
A little over
1 million. So. Anyway, so
So which bridge was that? Do we know?
it's the one out at Nemo, right?
one of the two there.
Out there at Nemo.
One bridge.
Yeah. But like I said, I like to ask him, so.
Just testing that one.
Yeah.
Pushing you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, out of my comfort zone, yeah.
Tell us about bridges.
Yeah, well, so if you were gonna build a bridge,
This has been recorded. I'm just kidding.
it is.
The
being
FERC
recorded.
requirements.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so, rural access infrastructure, during legislative session, they passed to continue to fund this, so we will be getting, we did actually just got the money for this, again, so I know, again, not speaking for John, but I do think he has a project to fulfill, spend, using these funds, because it's just small structures, you can't, if there's criteria on how you can spend that money. Yeah. So, and this also, special revenue fund. There, county assistance, there again, this has been a pretty stable, budget with, dating back to when they had the, marketplace and you were required to have insurance, so this is pretty steady. This is rental and that, so.
So looking at the burial expenses, is that gonna be enough?
No.
15?
Probably. I think I'm getting in the hole
Yeah.
of burial expenses
That-
as
yeah.
we speak. We've actually gotten a couple of folks to pay some money in and had some savings for somebody who had a prepaid funeral, but those monies don't automatically go back into the account, right? And so, so no, I've already spent my entire budget for burials for the year so far.
Why are we doing more burials? Is it?
People are dying.
It's just,
Are we here to die though?
it's just, yeah, so it's like one of those things, but just like JDC or court appointed attorney, it's just.
So should we bump that by
Actually,
10?
actually, I think if you, like I said,
Over time?
sometimes the other line items will
Okay.
cover that. So, I see where you're coming from, but if we don't have to supplement it in
Okay.
26 and the other line items will
Take care
cover
of it.
it,
We put
then
it in
we're
the budget,
good.
we got the tax
Yeah.
for
I
it.
mentioned it more that I might need to supplement this year. Of
Yeah.
course, it goes off the total of my budget, so I have to exceed that. I should add that I think we're seeing a certain demographic. It seems to be single males. Of course, now they're getting into their 70s. Typically, they're retired or they're on social or SSI. Often estranged from their family members, and it's kind of a certain demographic that kind of fits a pattern mostly, right?
Sure.
And we do, if they do have a house or any kind of property that we can lean on, we
Do
do
that.
lean on it, but that's a rare circumstance. And actually this year when we've got reimbursed, that hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we try. Of course, by statute says it's the obligation of loved ones and friends and family to pay the costs. But if they either can't, or if they refuse, then the county has to step in. So we don't really have an option.
Another fine little state thing, we see
Yeah.
that as.
Yeah, and so I think maybe some counties may haggle with people a little bit more. I tend not to, because what am I gonna do? Ultimately, you have to pay for it, and usually the funeral homes are interested in sort of moving on with the person, right? And so just for the dignity of the person, we try to resolve this. That makes sense.
We can't adjust the amount that we pay.
You have recently, you did, what, 3 or 4 years ago, you raised it to $3,000 for cremation, so like 99.9% of them are cremations. You did have one that was a funeral this year, I think, earlier on in the year, but most of them are cremated at that negotiated rate. In Kincaid, your agreement is with Iceberg, but Kincaid and all the other funeral homes are really good about abiding by that amount. They don't haggle with me at all. They're all good to work.
Can we only pay for cremations?
No, you'll pay for a funeral as well.
Yeah, but can we change that, or is that?
You can.
Another state
Cremations are actually
statute?
more expensive. Well, no, cremations are cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
I think the idea is that most counties, I think, allow for the option of a burial, of a regular burial, just because some people have religious proclivities or something along those lines. Again, it rarely gets used. Most people
About the cremation.
just, they're fine with that. But you're not required to, but I think most counties do have that option.
So the cremations are 2,000?
3,000.
And what are the burials? I thought that.
The box cost you that much.
So, yeah.
I just thought that there was not. I always thought that was odd.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's
See, the ambulance went up $1.
Well, and I'll explain that. Give me just a second.
That's pretty rugged.
Yeah.
It actually, it didn't, but because,
Clerical error.
no, I'll explain when I get there.
How could you
Rounding
say
issue.
a clerical?
It's not, I know. It's not a clerical error, it's a rounding deal. Should be
Pennies.
six. That's 24. There should be.
This is weird, isn't
Yeah. 26.
it? Not this one.
Yeah, there's one that's just by itself. We started a new book.
It seems to me that we should just have one flat fee. for
Yeah.
burial.
And cremation.
There we go. Yep. Should be 6 too.
I should have memorized, but I
We
don't.
should have. Got a lot of other things going on in your wheelhouse. How much the. Right.
So, yeah, the maximum that you'll pay is 3,000 for a burial. Yeah, and in this book, the cremation is 2,000, I'm sorry, cremation is 2,000. So 3,000 is the max. Again, that happens rarely.
I'm comfortable with that then. Leave it.
All right, so the next one is 422, which is nurses. That's also on your allocation sheet. I reached out to the state. Where got back to me and said that was at $61,031.73. And so that is the increase, $842 for 27. So. And then.
Do we have a choice in that?
You do, for the nurse.
Yeah, you signed a contract with them.
In the past, one of the commissioners was advocating going away from it. So until they came in and made a presentation.
Okay, so ambulance 424. So the reason for the dollar increase is, so when we stopped allocating to Sturgis, when you divide that in half, it's 5,889.50. Well, when you put it in the budget, it rounds it up. So I just rounded it up, gave everybody another 50 cents. So just keep that in mind when you're doing their
I remember.
when you're doing their contract, it's 5,890 per spearfish and monument. So that is the explanation on the dollar.
It's the same amount, just split differently.
Yes, yes. So, Northern Hills Training Center. That is, never mind. Just ignore what I just said. So, how about domestic abuse? That stayed the same at 14,000. That also is a special revenue fund. Comes over from divorce and marriage licenses in there, and then we split and give this to victims of violence. So, okay, this heads into Northern Hills Training Center. So they are requesting, so this is an allocation. The Northern Hills Training Center has requested $7,500, which is a $2,500 increase from last year. So decide whether or not you want to stay as you were with 5,000 or up it to 7,500.
And they made the same request last year, didn't they?
Correct.
They have a letter of support. Too.
Yeah.
It really explains it anymore, but scraps what they do.
Spent the day fishing with them yesterday.
Did you?
Yep.
Very cool. That's it. So everybody's good with
Evidently.
75? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're leaving that one.
Let's work that over.
Okay,
We're
perfect.
increasing that one, I should say. Is that
Okay,
correct?
awesome. Okay. Head into Compass Point, Northern Hills Drug and Alcohol. Requested 10,000, same as last year. They will also, as we get further down into the budget, have requested some opioid funds as well. So since that'll be here in a couple budget line items. Behavior management system goes by the census, so 25,768. So it stays the same as last year.
Dollar per.
And then heading into 445, which is mental illness. This is for our Board of Mental Illness Board. So if they do have a mental commitment, they turn that into payroll and then it's taken over this fund.
Does that board had to meet?
And we have not had anything for quite some
It's been a
time.
couple of years now. I was on the board.
So,
Never have had to go.
Well, yeah, no, before that,
Come close.
there was a period of time where we were meeting quite regularly. That person was still around, but not a problem.
Right now, I'm just a patient area.
so,
Did you have to get training for that one? Is that the one you had to get training for?
There's mandatory training.
Okay, so the next one is the opioid fund settlement expenses. I did increase that to 100,000. We did spend 100,000 in 26. We gave 60 to ABC and 40 to Compass Point, I think. Can't remember, but Compass Point did request 105 this year, but I just budgeted for 100. That way, if somebody comes in and requests it, we don't have to do a supplement. It's there. So the money starts to come in June. So we've gotten, I think, 2 checks already. So it just comes in. So
So there's spending authority already
Yes.
baked into there.
Yes.
Right? Just need to approve
Yeah,
it.
So and the Compass Point did send a letter or sent me an email request, said that they would like to request 35. So I did put that, if you notice on that second page, Compass Point 35. And then I just left the other one at 65.
And if we get more money from the settlement, then we would have to do it. But
We would, if somebody would want to, yeah. But, as of right now, it's been
it's pretty
coming in.
stable at 100. Thereabouts. Yeah.
Righty, the next is the library. They are requesting, looks like about a 5% increase over last year, 26,232. Their letter is attached as to their request.
These 10-year people, right? Yep, better than 10. Better than 10. They're getting waxed so much at the state level. Still losing services. Now they're trying to figure out how to shuffle books between our regional libraries. A couple that was doing that quit, and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And I think librarians are talking about doing a shuttle amongst themselves. Yeah. So, yeah, I encourage you.
Okay,
All right.
everybody's okay with leaving that as is? Okay, coming into the fair.
Same
And
as
your
always.
request of 10, if everybody's okay with that.
Yep. Skating gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Prairie Hills Transit, it's requesting 18,000, and last year it was at 15. An increase of $3,000. And
I always support them. I think that's a excellent service for the hills. Good transportation for the elderly people getting back and forth, medical appointments, and
Those gas is going up.
so I don't have a problem with that.
everybody's okay with Prairie Hills?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
So
so the next,
they did an increase last year, but that was the first one in quite a while.
Yeah.
so then the next increase is we got a request from the Senior Citizen Center in Spearfish. Requesting $100,000 to be dispersed in a 3-year project, or 3-year.
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years. So $33,333, for that, which is an increase of $31,330 for senior citizens.
So we'll expect it the next couple of years.
Yes.
3 years in a row.
that would be something you have to decide if you want to incorporate that into the budget.
You could submit a letter that has a lot of detail.
Yeah, their building's in bad shape.
It's like they're trying-
Their building's in terrible shape.
Yeah.
And their membership keep increasing, but and services keep increasing, but yeah, they struggle. I've only been involved because they had some land they had trying to do evaluation jerkies and they did that for them. And you hear about their woes and yeah, it's pretty rough.
Trying to raise street flag, it looks like, for their building.
3.5. It's like they've raised 500,000 so far.
What other revenue sources do they have? Is it just membership?
As far as I know, yeah, I'm not that involved, but.
They have a list of some of them there.
Cinnamon rolls, pancake breakfast.
Oh, yeah, they do fundraisers, yeah.
Sponsorships. Yeah.
They get paid anything to do the elections there?
They do not charge us to use the facility. They never have since I've worked here.
Oh, it's worth a lot right there.
Yep.
And I think that it's mentioned in there, in their
Does the
letter.
city charge us for the pavilion?
Nobody charges us for any of
Okay.
our election
Okay.
polling places, so that's it's great. So very thankful for that. So right now, just want to leave it as is or talk about it some more?
Somewhere we need to trim 163 or 153,000.
It's a tough one.
We could ask them to come up too, if you like. Or we could skip it. Think about it till
Yeah, I was thinking
next
about
month.
What wonders about the commission's gonna need the contingency this year. And it's 33, right? And do a present.
I wonder where the city's at on this. I think it-
It's kind of where I was with it too.
Yeah.
So maybe we could have them come up and visit. I think that would. What your thoughts are?
the senior center.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think,
On the 30th.
let's do that.
Okay.
That's pretty significant amount of money.
Yeah, it is.
We need to hear more from them.
We were just talking to, there may be some, you're about halfway through the year and you have what, 50,000 in your contingency
Yeah.
fund?
We just used 85, so. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Right. But otherwise, that money just would
Roll
just roll over if you don't spend it this year. Of course, I don't know if you're gonna have any other unanticipated.
Right, you never know.
You just don't know.
Yeah, and that would fund it this year as opposed to next year, so you'd get them ahead of time.
Have we covered all of our legal bills
So far.
So far, yeah.
So
We
far.
don't have any outstanding bills.
Okay, we're good.
All right, so extension, I spoke about that a little bit earlier. I got that amount and it's at 52,235. So that is a little less than what I had put into the budget. So I put 54,735. I just did a 5% or 3% increase. But Annie sent me what she's proposing to the commissioners and that would be our half, 52,235. So that will decrease that one. Did hear from the state, our share for shared office staff is $12,101. So that went up $576 for that. Soil conservation did request 25,000. Last year was at 20. So
He asked for more last year too, didn't they? We left it the
We've
same.
left it the same for quite a while.
State law says you have to give them some money, but it doesn't say how much. That's my recollection.
There was a lot more federal dollars available to them. That has dried up this administration.
And they have a nice breakdown.
What's the breakdown of what they do for it? What's capital?
Yeah, that's all.
Service.
tree program,
Yeah.
grants. That's it.
Over about the line.
What?
They're not going in the hole, and they're not supposed to be in the business of making money.
Say we leave them again.
At 20? Everybody okay with that? or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turn into the weed department, basic species. Increase of a negative 24.72. His vehicles are taken off of there, so that's that.
He's actually pretty frugal.
Yeah. He is, I think, requesting a raise for Ryan, I think, as well. Yeah, so, yeah, step increase for Ryan from a 1 to a 3. So, that, and then planning and zoning, they're at 2.57 increase.
Their group insurance went up 10 grand.
Yes, and that was due to, an addition of, family
Yeah.
coverage. So, yep. Okay, any questions on that? Severance tax again, that is the mine severance. I did not budget anything for that. I did, as you noticed in 26, we did the supplement for that 3,000 for Deborah League Economic for that housing study. And, so if something comes up where we would need to use those funds in 27, we'll have to do a supplement for that as well. And then to close it out, is our bond payment. So I did increase the other fees to 3,000. That did go up a little bit in 26. So as you see, it was 27,000 or 2,700, and so I did increase it to 3,000. Other than that, the bond payment pretty much stays about the same. The interest goes down and the principal goes up. So, and then just plugging in the figures into the budget. And the levy went up 0.58, just with the values that we have currently. Would go up to a total levy of 2.879. It was at 2.821 this year. So, but other than that, everything's looks good. And
Did planning, did we get a new printer last year? Was it? There's just the maintenance.
Equalization, yeah.
Don't they share one?
They share one.
I use it too.
And register of deeds, they were needing one?
I don't remember.
Where's that? Where?
I don't know.
From last year.
I figured she brought that up last, department.
She was talking about whether or not, yeah, I think about whether to lease one or to buy one.
Oh,
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, is that for 27? Or is that?
I guess I
She didn't say anything about it on there.
yeah, at least.
Oh, yeah,
we
there is
go
a
with
copy
that,
at least,
yep.
9,500.
Whether she buys it or leases it, she's got it budgeted. So, does anybody have any other questions as far as a budget or information you need from me?
Also, right now I have for July 30th, at the end of your meeting, we have probably the senior center come first, then highway, and then followed by sheriff for appointments from department heads. If there's anybody else you want me to add. Kind of a similar process to what you've seen in the past.
I don't have any.
Is there any value to having Tim come up and talk about, now that we've got about a year into the Public Safety Service Center? Any expenses that,
He could come with John.
I think he'd probably come anytime. He doesn't necessarily need to come at budget time.
Right.
Yeah, I talk to them periodically and I think things are going well. They're troubleshooting some things and getting things worked out. They like it, the building, right? It's functioning pretty well, I think.
those expenses have been pretty stable from what they thought they were gonna be with.
I think so. Yeah, and they're getting they're getting a shop completed. They poured the concrete. I think they're waiting to get some, they're waiting, they have to have their gas line hooked up yet, I think. So they're waiting to do that. And then you have to turn the hot water off to the jail in order to do that, to run that line from the main building to their shop. So I know they're still trying to work on that. But, I mean, I can certainly, yeah, he'd come with John.
Mhm.
Answer any questions you might have.
So, what I will do, is I will go make those changes that we made and I will reprint everything and I will just put it back on here if you want to look on it, unless you want a hard copy of it. Let me know. I know you do.
I like just the one page.
The increase, decrease, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just, how about
Well,
if I,
That'd be ideal.
two pages, I guess.
all right, I'll put the new increase, decrease in there for you. I'll put the new one up here and also I'll print the whole thing and put it on there so that if you want to look at anything, you can have it. And I'll call it, departmental budget, as of whatever date I put it in there.
Well, then maybe make it number 8, maybe.
Yep, I could do that to
Still
make
have
it
the old
8.
ones
Yep,
that way, keep the
yep.
old ones
definitely. And then I'll just keep everything there so we need to compare back, we can. And then I'll just do a tab 8, which will be, probably not today, but probably tomorrow, 6/24.
So,
And most of these I like online, but they're like the big notes on
Yeah.
paper.
the salaries, we just did a 3% increase across the board,
That's correct.
except for the coroner apparently.
Then there was a couple other ones in
Couple of
there,
individual ones.
individual ones.
There's step raises.
Yep. And then there's, I'd have to go, I'm trying to think who was it, somebody did it,
Yeah,
Nicole,
50 cents, yeah, Geico.
25 cents.
equalization was 25 cents.
Mhm.
There's, I had one in there too, for Debbie, so,
And there were no changes to the longevity pay.
no,
reflected in the
I left
budget.
that as the 2468.
Same with the personal leave.
That would require to do resolution.
The resolution. or the type
We'd have to
of-
update the personnel manual to do that.
We should think about if we're going to do that before we do the budget final.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Are you waiting for a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I'll just wait. Commissioner Tisdale and I met with the department heads after the last meeting. I'll just fill you in. We talked about the changing the longevity pay to reflect, right now it kicks in at 5 years. They would like us to bring it down to 3 years and then maybe add something on at the end too, because it stops at 20. And so that's where we're just discussing the reflection, how the budget would reflect that change. The personal days were another issue that they brought up, just looking for things that the county could do to offer some benefits to them without salary increases. So the personal days I was a little cloudy on because I didn't really understand. Because we have personal days, we have sick leave, and then we also have vacation days. But the personal days, you have to use your vacation before you can use the sick leave. I mean, the sick leave before you use your personal.
Right now, we have a snow day. They go home, they don't get paid.
Right.
Yeah, that's not right.
Like
That's not
Spearfish
right.
has
Or
something.
they have to take,
hours.
or they have to take,
leave.
Oh, they take the sick leave or vacation.
they can use any kind of
And
leave.
PTO doesn't increase their budget at all. And it's very important to employees, this personal time off. And, you know, we don't lose production. In my mind, we don't lose production either. Same thing with the day after Thanksgiving and things like that. We don't lose any production. They get it done before the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and they work harder on Monday. Same thing on a PTO. I get to pick a day off, so I'm gonna have my stuff done and caught up. And I don't have an issue. And it's a non-budget increasing benefit for employees to change attitude. I think it does a good job.
Call it a floating holiday.
So this kind of just a recap. So the 2 personal days that people get,
Use them or lose them.
if you get 16 per year. Right now, if you use it, it comes off your sick leave balance. So you're suggesting that does not come off your sick leave balance. It's just you get 2 days to take off. So so we'd have to do that part of it. And then you're talking about if there's the snow day. So you've got the people that stay, your highway department, your sheriff's office, and then the ones that go home. Right now, if there's an emergency day, when you go home, you have to take leave or no pay. That's how that part of that works. And so they're all different sections within the personnel manual. So if that's what we're thinking about changing, yes, that would not change the budget at all. It would just change if you got to go home, you just go home.
We're gonna
So
keep
if we-
employees.
Yeah.
If we do a snow day though, and the office employees get to go home and still get paid, what effect does that have on the road and sheriff? Do you get time and a half in that case?
They do if they come out on the weekends, they get extra pay if they come out on the weekends. But see, before it was like they just got paid because they didn't have to take leave because they were still working. So that was, I think that's kind of was the offset. I mean, I'd have to grab the manual to read exactly how it's worded, but I understand where you're coming from.
Well, they would still get those days
Yeah.
they could take off.
So we would have
In
to.
the summer or another day.
They get comp time.
Some comp time on that. So I just didn't want it to be unfair to the people that have to work.
Yeah.
Right.
That we're getting a disadvantage over the ones that get to go home.
So, those are, like I said, we just have to look at that and how we would word that as far as policy. We're gonna compensate, highway and those, the sheriff's office that have to work while I get to go home.
If you're scheduled to work, you're scheduled to work. If you have to go home and you have to use leave, then you use leave.
Yeah.
If we're giving them more leave time, then it's still the same difference because the highway department will get more leave time as well. They just are working their regular shift and everybody else has to take the leave time to get paid. It's not like we're gonna pay them a free day. They're still using that leave time.
They would just get their leave time on a nice day instead of a snowy day.
Right. Or, when they went crappy day to go fishing.
So there's no, so the longevity is the only thing that would affect the budget. Is that correct? That's correct.
We can adjust the other without it.
So,
No blizzard pay.
Any other questions or things we need to do?
We just gotta be on top of competing with private enterprise, because as we grow, more larger companies come in.
Well, and the housing costs are a problem for our employees. And so they need to be compensated a little bit better than other counties even in order to compete against the other counties for it.
I'm kind of amazed about longevity, amazes me. Stops at 20 years. You want to keep your people that have been here for a long time. Why aren't we taking care of them? It was a very interesting meeting. Well worth it. And we've scheduled a second one, and not just for budget, just to talk.
November.
That's good, I think.
Yeah.
You want to keep your long-term employees, such a resource.
Can't believe it hasn't been done before.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about lowering the limit on longevity, but I certainly think there's merit to
Yeah.
looking at the upper end.
You gotta give the lowering thought process, just these new people, to give us some incentive. In a 5-year term, let the young people don't stick around anywhere for more than 2-3 years. I mean, keep them there for 3 years. I mean, that's a benefit to us and to them, but it is to us. I mean, Poor sheriff and all the new employees he has.
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, we invest a lot into them training those first year or two.
No, that's true.
How do we make sure that we're getting that back to us?
I mean, when we've started, we did, we paid for the whole single policy. I mean, we're, that was a big step forward, that right there. I mean, not having to pay for your single policy is huge.
Change the residency requirement.
Yes, the residency. So I mean, we're trying, but like you said, I 100% understand where you're coming from, and, and not to, be I'll say Brenda Downer, but you're coming into a stage of the county employees that you're going.
Get ready to retire.
Yeah.
Looking at a turnover here. in the next 5 years.
Quickly, looking at a couple handfuls of,
Very talented folks leaving us.
exactly. And so, you're gonna have you lose a ton of, learning something new every day, people.
Get the state, quit throwing things at us with no money to do them with, that would be nice.
So,
Good luck with that.
yeah, but, it's, our benefit package is great, but I also understand, trying to keep the people here.
Particularly the younger people that
Yeah.
don't necessarily
Yeah.
look at the
Yeah,
benefits.
exactly. You don't look at it until
You have to look
you're
at
my
it.
age and you're like, wow,
Yeah, at least in your 30s, you
Yeah.
start to think about family and
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
those expenses.
yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
something we can definitely look into. I don't know how soon you want it done. I can maybe see if I can find another department head to see if they're willing to, write up some resolutions for those couple of,
Bid start.
because I think it was 2020 when we redid the manual the last time, right? So
It's been, I don't know, it's been a
maybe
while.
it's been longer than that. I don't know. It's been longer than that. 2010 maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so.
Well, yeah, let's
All
try to take a look at, I think Amber had a matrix there for the
Yeah, she
longevity.
did.
thing,
Yeah.
so. All right, anything else? I won't be here at the next meeting, I know, so Commissioner Tisdale will be running the show. I don't know if I might be able to tune in online, I'm not sure.
Let me know, I'll get you the link.
Okay.
So, no lunch today.
It's not-
No.
I was
5
really
hours
looking
in.
for
Good
the
job.
ham and cheese sandwich.
Good work. You could still have it.
No.
10:09 adjourned.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Thank you all very, very much.